With this, we've come to the final session of today, and I think certainly one of the more interesting ones. As with any market, one key question is always what consumers, what players want. To help us provide insight in this question, we are joined by Dr. Andreas Ditsche, who is CEO of affiliate network iGaming.com. Andreas has looked at what kind of search term visitors to his affiliate websites use to arrive at their destinations. These terms, search terms, of course, provide clear indications of what players, Spanish players included, are specifically looking for. Andreas, of course, will be able to explain this in much better and in greater detail than I am. Andreas, welcome. It's nice to see you again. And the stage is yours. Thank you. Nice to see you. Thank you.
About a month ago, I stood in Amsterdam in one of Willem's events, and I talked about taming the evil. So I talked about the gambling industry. Amsterdam was a bright place. It looked like an opera house, light coming in. Today I'm a bit scared. We are in a windowless basement. So let's see how it goes today. But I'm the last one, it cannot get any worse. Yeah. Okay. I have not prepared that alone. I have my colleague Janina with me. She's sitting there. So all the mistakes are mine, the brilliant data is hers. So, today we will look a bit into numbers. Let's look into gambling participation across Europe. So I am German, and we are not leading the pack. So gambling participation in Germany, according to statistics, is less than 40%. The definition is who has played within the last 12 months for money. There's one number that for someone from the industry looks too good to be true. Spain. More than 80% of the population were involved in gambling. But it depends very much on what statistic you read. So the higher number is this 80-some%. And if you look into the DGOJ, I don't dare pronouncing it in Spanish here, the number is about half that. It's about 50%. So frankly speaking, if I would run a business where I have numbers that deviate 50%, it's almost impossible to base decisions on numbers. So that's one of the things we face here in this industry. But I think we can notice something else. In Spain, my feeling is that gambling is not a vice you whisper about. You talk about it. It's somehow accepted in the society. If I would imagine that 85% of Germans would gamble on a regular basis, we would never hear about it. We would be sitting in the basement. We would not talk about it. This is something you do not mention. It's like going to McDonald's. You just get some love handles, but you would never admit you eat burgers. So that's how we in Germany treat gambling personally and in the public opinion. And I have another statistic for you. Problem gambling rates. They differ vastly within Europe. Also here, it's super challenging to define which numbers you can trust. I would like to look at two countries. One is yours, Spain, and the other is mine, Germany. So the lowest numbers you find in statistics, problem gambling in Spain is 0.2%. The highest number is 1.5% of the population, factor 7. And in Germany, it's anywhere between 0.3% and 2.3%, depending what statistics you believe. The difference is millions of people. So it's obviously super challenging to approach gambling and data with reliability. So when we look at Spanish gamblers, from what you find is, for Spanish gamblers, gambling is not an investment strategy. It's entertainment. You spend 50 euros, you will have lost it after a certain period of time, and it's like buying a movie ticket. But this is not what some regulators try to fight against. So I would like to look into that a little bit more. And one super impressive number I see in literature is 92% of players in Spain say they do not chase losses. So they accept, shrug the shoulders, we lost. And here, the different statistics are very close. So the DGOJ says it's 85%, others say it's around 90%. So if they are kind of right, it's really entertainment in Spain. And we will see that when we look at what people are searching for, it's vastly different what we have. So, and this brings me to the topic I would like to discuss. I would like to talk about the searching behavior of players, especially in Spain, and I will contrast it a bit to Germany. So, what do we think players are searching for, and why do we know? We are affiliates. We make money by attracting players. So we must clearly understand the keywords that they are looking for. We have to tailor our websites that they are landing on our page and direct them mildly so that they convert and go to an operator who actually offers gambling. So that's our business model. That's what we are paid for. So now we can all take a guess. What do you think players are looking for in Spain? So forget about ChatGPT and all that stuff for a moment. In the good little line in Google, what do people put in? The biggest bonus? The highest RTP? Or how to play blackjack? No. Actually, they don't. In Spain, it's all about legality. And we had to learn it. So Janina is running Spain and other countries. And what we usually do, we fire with everything we have. So we tell the players bonus comparisons, breakdowns, rocket science info. And only when we stopped it, our pages began going through the roof. We have a relatively broad analysis. We looked on more than 70,000 searches, and we analyzed the top 40 keywords. And you see a big pie chart that is dominated by a huge portion in blue. So we can forget about the number. Almost all the searches are in this blue part of the pie. And the blue part of the pie are unspecific searches. This is where people just say, and I don't try the Spanish words, it's online casinos Spain, Spanish online casinos, how can I play online, all these questions, but nothing specific. So this is the vast majority of players. So most in their searches, they do not care about details at all. So out of these 40 keywords, 13, and this is more than 90% of the searches, are just generic searches. Players do not care what the details are. I have a couple of examples for you. I don't speak a word of Spanish, except what I learned from Terminator. This is super ordinary searches, over 90%. And then we have about 3.6% of searches that go after trusted and legal. So here you see the keywords in Spanish, and you see the clusters they go into. So licensed, legal, trustworthy. Do they care about specific games or payout ratios? No, they don't. So we have a little bit of specific search, 2.7%, again, out of the big pie, that is almost nothing. So players in Spain look for games, new stuff, something live. That's basically it. So not much. So what have we done? We have said all this rocket science, empty the sink on information, we stopped it, and did a clear focus on trusted and legal. And this is what happened. If we would do that in Germany, it would go exactly the other way. So that's a big difference in the attitude that you find in Spain and in the other country we know pretty well, Germany. So, we have seen what Spanish people are looking for. It's even more interesting to see what they are not looking for. And we have put together a little comparison. In Spain, we search for legality. And I stick to the English part. So we talk about legal gambling in Spain, licensed casinos in Spain, licensed online casinos, etc. When it's legal, it's good. What are we searching for in Germany? Online casinos without limits. In Germany, that was mentioned, you can only bet €1 per spin. And you have to wait 5 seconds between 2 spins. Everyone who doesn't like it searches this. With EU license. That means when you have an EU license, you obviously don't have a German license, and it's a criminal offense when you play that when you are based in Germany. But we don't care. We are also speeding on the Autobahn. Without 5-second rule, tons of people search for it. Autoplay slots, illegal in Germany, people search for it. Casinos without credit check. In Germany, you have to register, and in order to identify you, they get a confirmation from, let's say, the German credit authority, put it that way. People are scared that they are registered and do not get a mortgage one day. So, this is where we differ drastically. So what is the development? We see that searches for licensed casinos in Spain have about doubled. So the legal and safe keywords outperform criteria like best or bonus or so. That's the driver for our ranking on the websites. And with our optimized landing page, we could also say simplified. We pinpoint what people are looking for. We went up in the ranking. Conclusions, in our opinion: player mentality in Spain, gambling is viewed as entertainment, not investment. People know that they will lose. Losses are acceptable as entertainment costs. It's not sunk cost on the way to become a billionaire. More than 90% of the players do not chase losses. We have heard that earlier today. So when people say, I lose, I continue, I try to recover it, no, that's not the big thing in Spain. Players actively choose regulated operators over unregulated ones. Completely the opposite to what we see. Rocket science, selling points, RTPs, not so important. when you lose anyhow. You might play a bit longer, but it's not a big driver. And the main player motivation is safety, legality, and entertainment. So let's look a little bit into channelization. Also, this was already touched upon. I don't know anyone who is worse in channelization than Germany. The number that you see on the chart is some 25%. Some say that's even optimistic. Many say 20% would already be a good number. How did we end there? We killed the regulated market by regulation. I think everyone wanted to do something good to the players, but now we face some 80% playing somewhere else. In Spain, the channelization rate is super high. And I might add, still super high. Because you are on your way of optimizing it by regulation. And I've added the third example, the Netherlands. Regulation has been cut in half within a few years, also after the regulation kicked in. Player motivation. We also looked a bit into a comparison between Germany and Spain. And when you look at it, you can see that this enjoyment or sports thing is much bigger in Spain than in Germany. Excitement is a strong driver, and the intention to win money is there. And it might sound contradictory to what I said 3 minutes ago. However, there's this thrill, you could win, but in the end you accept that you lose. And I would say everyone who's reasonably smart knows that the bank always wins. So there might be the chosen few who leave the roulette table rich, but you probably only see them from behind through the blur of your tears. So, we try to put together 3 takeaways. Players are not unpredictable. They are just honest, and they are honest in their keywords. We can do all kinds of surveys, talk to people, and for this, let's say, honesty in the keywords, that's what people actually put in. It's not an artificial answer. And I would like to give an example for that point. I'm a professor. At the same time, I'm a CEO of an affiliate company in this industry, and as a professor, I teach ethics. Yeah. Many people look at me like that. And in a seminar, we talk about gambling, because that's exciting for the students as well. When they have a semi-criminal professor in front of them, that's a topic to talk about. And there was a seminar group, they made a presentation about should we have regulation or not? And they asked one question to their fellow students and said, should gambling be made illegal? 75% of the students said yes, it should be completely forbidden. Question number 2, have you personally played for money within the last 4 weeks? 75% of the students said yes. So I think it's fun. It sounds funny, but it shows us that we think we are unbeatable and safe, and the others are vulnerable and need to be protected. We always feel that can never ever harm us, but we have to protect the others. But I would say, in Germany, we say wishing well doesn't mean doing well. So regulation is a challenge. The second point, in Spain, people search for legal casinos. In Germany, they search for ways around the rules. When you look at a pie like I've shown for Spain, It will be similar. The vast majority is unspecific search, but the big thing and the share of voice goes into how can I do something illegal. And the third point, when players trust the system, they stay. When they don't, they leave. They leave quietly and completely. And I had the pleasure to attend a seminar that was given by one of the guys who writes the reports on which the German regulator and lawmaker base their decisions. And for him, the channelization rate is 80-some% in Germany. Everyone in the industry will say it's different. And then you start digging how it's measured. One measurement is, do the operators play tax? Yeah, of course, when you're in the legal market, you play tax. And the conclusion why the online gambling share is relatively low in Germany, there you can easily go abroad, it was Germany is underdeveloped in terms of internet access. So I think if you are discussing on that level, you have to take a deep breath and say, hey, let's be open, put the numbers on the table, even if there's a wide span, what is accurate, it's worth it. And I have a final word of wisdom. So since I'm a professor, I thought I have to give it a little bit of intellect. Qui totum vult, totum perdit, from Seneca, he who wants everything loses everything. We will never have a perfect solution. And this applies to operators, regulators, and players. If you want to have protection, hell, you cannot go and play in the illegal area. So I've recently talked to someone from the GGL and said, yeah, people came, they played in an illegal casino, and now they go to GGL and say, help, I won and they don't pay. Sorry, you have to make a decision. And simplicity, legality, and trust. So we don't need everything, but we need enough. Thank you so much. I was so scared about someone raising the fingers. Thank you for your attention. And Willem. So Willem, I must say it, in Amsterdam you put me after lunch, where everyone was probably tired, and here I was fully aware that I was the only thing between you and the networking drinks. So since I took that hurdle, thank you, Willem. What doesn't kill me makes me stronger.
Absolutely. Thank you, Andreas. Thank you. Please stay with us for a second. I think we had a few questions in Slido. Many of those questions were answered during your last 3 slides, but I think we have 2 that have not been looked at. So, Andreas, do you think somebody's asking regulation can have an impact on player motivation?
Yes, it can. And I had the pleasure to talk about a behavioral scientist. Regulation means it's forbidden and restricted, and a forbidden fruit is super appealing for many people. So it can have an impact that drives you into the bad side, and on the other hand, if well done, it can really protect. But it's a double-edged sword, and you have to do it with rhyme and reason, with people involved that are in rooms like this.
Underground rooms. I think there was a second question.
Glad you said it, Willem.
Yeah, it but in a country of law-abiding citizens, so
yeah,
you know.
Yeah,
a second question from Slido. So from the room here, last question from the experience in Germany with the shared deposit limit. Andreas, how do you think did it impact player behavior and the market? Did it lead to an increase in the black market? I mean, the shared deposit limit was introduced at market opening, so there was no
So for
no
that,
delta.
My answer for that is crystal clear. Just to make sure everyone understands, you have a deposit limit of 1,000 euros per month. And if you're over, you have to wait until the next month where you can deposit again, legally. What we see is that people, and that's the wall you run against, but many people jump over the wall and continue somewhere where it's illegal and you are not asked for any limits, where you can just play. So I think it leads to an increase in the black market because the limits are too low. We had this discussion also in the morning. I can now with my smartphone buy crypto for 100,000, but I cannot play for 2,000. That's a contradiction in my opinion.
Okay.
And, just don't get me wrong, 50 euros can be way too much for someone who is in trouble. Who is a problem gambler? Male, poorly educated, low income. This is the highest risk group. So for them, you do not protect them with 1,000 euros. That's not the way. You have to attack their mindset.
Great. Andreas, thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.